Private victory precedes public victory. What does that even mean? Someone may ask. I would ask the same question myself if someone were to come to me and just give me that line. Hey, look, your private victory, they precede your public victory. But then the question is, what does it really mean? Well, it means this one particular thing. It means that what you do in public is as a result of the hard work that we have put privately. Basically, that's what it is. We see this in theater, we see this in movies, we see this in sports, we see it in many instances. We see it in business, we see it in society. We see people that are considered as people of high value. Why? Because this person that we now consider to be highly respected is because there is just stuff that he does or she does privately that makes him to command the respect that we then give him in society. The athlete that wins a medal, it's as a result of the hard work that they put before the performance. The beautiful theater that you watch and you even give them a standing ovation over it, it's because of the hard work that they put in during rehearsal. Now, when they come for the performance, it's just that time that we see them do what they do best. But what they had gone through before the performance, it is massive work that they've put in. So that's what it means. Your best movie, the one that you love the most, and the actor that you love the most, you love them because there is stuff that they do before you see them on screen. There is a level of discipline which we do not get to see. There is a level of intentionality that they have before they can even get to a set and work with other actors so that they can become then the people that we so much love. That is why we love certain actors, we love certain athletes, we love certain musicians, simply because they're just outstanding in what they do. But the reason they are outstanding in what they do, it is based on the fact that they take their work seriously, and there is stuff that they do which we do not get to see. If you are lucky, sometimes they will show you the lifestyle of a particular athlete or a soccer star, a football player. Then they would, if you are lucky, you get to learn about what are the things that they do that make them to perform at the level at which they're performing. And in most cases, those things that people do in private that make them great, they are not as attractive as to what we see them do in public. For everything that then you are to become, or that you want to become, or that you want to achieve, the achievement itself becomes as a result of the work that you have done personally. The stuff that we have not seen you do, all that we see, we just see this great, amazing performance, this great success. That's all that we see, but we don't see what you have done in secret. Also, the reason that we get to see how you are not doing so well in public continuously, it's very true that privately you are not putting as much work that will put you at a level where we can say you are performing at your best. That's just how it is. So there are many circumstances that I don't want to make fun of situations whereby people they don't get to perform because maybe there's a life-threatening situation in their life. I don't want to be ignorant of that, but under normal circumstances, it is very true that we perform the way that we perform publicly because of what we do in the secret place, because of what we do privately. Now, we've just gotten into a new year, 2025, and most of us, we have resolutions, which is very, very good. We've got goals that we want to achieve, and it's very good. Some of us, we've even written them down, and we want to achieve those goals, and they're beautifully outlined. Some of us, we even know exactly what we need to do to be able to get those results, and that's very, very good. But it is very important to acknowledge that whatever resolution, whatever goal that you want to achieve, there is private work that you need to do before you can achieve that goal. Now, for me, I base this mainly on what has helped me personally, values, among other things. If you do not have a set of values that that are crafted just for you, that you have crafted for yourself, that you stand upon, this resolution that you have made, if you do not have a set of values that you stand upon, and which this resolution also stands upon, then chances of you defaulting are as big as the last time you made a resolution and you did not win. It's just as simple as that. So having said that, what are then the values that, for me personally, that have helped me, and that I have also helped other people that come to me and ask for an advice on how to go about achieving whatever it is that they want? The people that I coach and mentor, I do not tell them stories. I do not tell them book knowledge. I tell them of the stuff that has helped me personally. A couple of years ago, I went rock bottom. Like, life really hit me hard, and the only thing that made me to stand up and got back up, I had to be very intentional with defining myself based on values that I want to stand upon, to the extent that if I were to hit rock bottom again, I'll come back and use the same values combined with certain principles that I live by, and I'll get back up again. So this is why I believe so much in developing a value system that will guide you. Now, when it comes to values, it's very important to understand that people have different values. We value different things in life. Even a person that is known to be a liar, that person values lying to be helping them to live life. I don't know how helpful that could be, because for me personally, in the past, when I lied, I got into a lot of trouble. But there are people that lying or cheating is a value. They thrive on those things. They live doing that, and they prove it over and over again that it's a thing that they believe in, you know. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the values that will make you to live among people, that will make you to achieve most of the goals that you have for yourself. Now, once again, these are values that I personally use. These are values that I stand on, and when I get asked to share how is it that I get to achieve the stuff that I achieve, and I then begin to tell people about my values, and if it works for them, then it works. If it does not, hey, it's okay. People can go and look for other solutions. This is just works for me, and I hope that it will help other people as well. So, value number one for me, that I believe it's above everything else. So you may call it a principle, you may call it a habit. I call it a value because I've made it to be a value for me, and that is awareness. Awareness. Now, why is it important? Let me just start by saying, for the mere fact that you have a resolution, you have a goal, you have stuff that you think it's very important for you to change, or you want to achieve a particular thing, and you have pinpointed that I want to do this and this and that, you came to that realization again because of awareness. So awareness is interchangeably used with a realization. So you realized that you need to change something. You became aware that you need to change something. So awareness for me, it's a big thing. But then now, diving deep into awareness is for me, it is a value in that I cannot solve a problem that I am not aware of. I cannot move to a new level of myself without realizing that the level where I'm at, I do not like. So it's very important to embrace that, just to be aware. And also it means to be present with yourself. It means not to, how can I put it? It means not to be delusional about yourself and about what is happening in your life. So the minute you begin to be aware, this is when then you get to cultivate ways in which you can move from where you are to where you want to be, right? So for me, that is awareness. Awareness gives birth to a whole lot of things. It gives birth to you realizing the areas that you need to improve in your life, realizing the areas that you need to completely change in your life, realizing the things that you are strong at and capitalizing on them, realizing on the weaknesses that you have in your own life, that you can work on them. It encompasses almost all of you. In business, it's exactly the same. Like you may not be getting clients, but it's very important for you to understand why is it that you are not getting clients. So you need to sit and begin to look at even the kind of service that you are offering. That I've been doing this thing and I'm not getting client and it's not growing. Before you can come up with strategies and ways to make it grow, you will need to be aware of what is it that is pulling you down. What is it that is causing stagnancy in your life? So that for me is the number one value that I would suggest, that if you were to move from one level to another level that you desire, you need to start by being just aware, number one, of the fact that you're probably not ready even for the result that you have written down, or the goal that we have listed. Maybe you are not ready for it. Maybe you need to realize that maybe you do not have the information that is required for you to achieve that. Maybe you need to also be aware of the fact that maybe your skill needs some polishing. So all of those things, they will, with the minute you start to be aware, you start to notice small little things that they are very small, but when you pay attention to them, those are the things that are going to bring you a very massive harvest in your journey as you journey on to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So for me, awareness is a top priority when it comes to my set of values, right? The second value that I have for myself, and this one, it comes from home, from my mother. I was raised up with this value, and a couple of them that I will discuss. It's honesty. Honesty. Look, once again, once you begin to be aware, you will need to realize that you will come to a point where you have to ask yourself questions as to how honest am I to myself first, because it starts with you. When you become dishonest to other people, it simply means one thing: you are dishonest to yourself. That's just what it is, because remember, we are saying private victory precedes public victory. So when you are being dishonest to people, you are being dishonest to yourself first and foremost, right? So being honest to yourself means that you do not pretend to be knowing something when you do not know it. If you don't know something, admit and say, I do not know this. And you can only not know something once, when you realize. The minute you become aware and that you do not know something, only once. The second time you get asked about exactly the same thing and you still say you don't know, there's another term for that. You're just being ignorant because you became aware of it that you do not know it. Now you come to a point whereby you get asked about the same question the second time around and you still don't know. And you cannot then beat around the bush around it and say you still don't know at that time. You just being ignorant or you lazy, basically. So you need to be honest with yourself that when you don't know stuff, you don't know it. You put it upon yourself to find the answers that you need in everything. So it could well be that the goal that you want to achieve, it requires you to know more than what you know. So you need to be honest with yourself that I do not have the information that I need in order for me to achieve this goal that I have. Then now that you found out that you do not know, you don't have the information that you need. So it's on you. It's on you to stand up and go and look for the help that you need and find all the answers that you need. Right. Now that leads us to the third value, which again, I don't know what other people would call it, but for me it's a value, relating. So this has got to do with relationships. Now relationships, folks, they have become the new currency. Relationships have become the new currency. I will tell you just in a bit why I say that. But when you then relate for the stuff that you realize that you do not know, you became honest with yourself that you do not know stuff. The first thing that will help you, or the first area where you'll find help in, it is in your relationships. Now, once again, cultivating cultivating meaningful and long-lasting relationships, it's a very important thing. It's very, very important. When you do not know stuff, now when people see that you want to go somewhere and you are asking questions and your intention is that you want to get better, people will help you. But in order for them to help you, you need to relate with people. There is a whole video that I did with a friend of mine, Mr. Vusi Dezinkosi, on his channel, Relating Relationships, where he speaks of relationship. If you want to know about the importance of relationships, I will put the link to his channel here in the description, and you are free to go and have a look at it and just learn about how do you go about forming good and meaningful relationships. Now, the reason I say then that relationships are a currency. Relationships are a currency in that whatever that you think you do not know and you don't have, someone else that you know, or that probably you also don't even know because you have not related with them, they have a solution to that. Someone that you know or you don't know have a solution to that. And in order for you to get that solution, you will need to relate with people. It's very, very important. You will need to be a person that first and foremost, you've got to relate with yourself. Now, you relate with yourself from the two values that we've just discussed, being aware and being honest. When you do those things, you are forming a relationship with yourself. Now, these two, you will use them as you move forward when you meet other people, because if you're honest to yourself, you'll be honest with other people. If you are aware with yourself, you'll also be aware of other people around you. I hope that that makes sense. Then the next one is transparency. It is transparency. Now, I don't know if some of you, if you got a voice note or a New Year's Eve message from your parents, but I did get one from my mother. In her message, she was wishing me all well, wishing that my business grow and that I become the success that I perceive myself to be, that she's praying me. She's praying for me to succeed in everything that I do, of which I'm very grateful to have a mother that is like that. In her voice note, she mentioned something that caught my attention. She said, Musa, this coming year, I wish that people could be more truthful, could be more repentant, could be more trustworthy, could be more transparent. Now I was like, whoa. Now these are the values that we grew up with. These are the values that my mother ensured that they are instilled in us without writing them on walls or on our refrigerator. We just knew growing up that if you're not being trustworthy, you are in trouble with my mother. You're not being honest, you lie a lot, you are in trouble with my mother. You are not transparent about stuff, you are in trouble. We knew about that. For me personally, as I grow older, I then realized that actually my mother was teaching us a set of values. Other families, they would write them down and they would have meetings. We never had that. My mother just instilled it, and she enforced those values on us, and it was hard at times. But growing up, I realized that actually she was teaching me a very valuable lesson in paying attention to values. So transparency becomes a very important value for me as I live. Now, how does transparency then help you? Transparency helps you as you move forward in an attempt to achieve your goal or to ensure that your resolution it bears fruit, that you achieve everything that you've set yourself to achieve. When you ask for help, now you will not find help if you're not transparent about yourself. Some people, they get held up by certain habits that they are imprisoned by, and you'd find that it's actually just that habit. If they can deal with that habit, then they will see a change. And in finding help, when you are not transparent about the stuff that is holding you back, you are not going to find the help that you need. Now, there are people that have dealt with certain things that we are also going through, but because they've not stood up and say, hey, look, I dealt with that, and this is how I conquered it, they're not going to announce. But when you relate with people and you become transparent that, hey, look, I've always wanted to achieve A, B, C, D, but I think my problem is 1, 2, 3. Then you'll be surprised that maybe out of 3 people, 2 people will come and say, hey, I had a problem with the same thing, and this is how I conquered it. Do you want to try maybe these steps or try these methods? Because this is how I overcame that habit, and it's possible. Now, by just being transparent, you've opened yourself to a whole lot of possibilities that you could be helped. So it's very important that you become very transparent as a person, because when you are transparent, then you are putting yourself out there to people and say, hey, look, I need help. Once again, know the kind of people that you are transparent to, because so your values, what your values then do, as you develop a set of values, you then get to realize that there are people that are holding more or less the same values as you. When you make relationships, your values will help you to sort of like find the people that click with you based on the common set of values. They may not be the same, but your values, they may coincide with other people's values. That is why then you'd find people, they're making friendships. There is a certain group of people that have a particular set of values that they believe in. You'd find married people sticking together simply because they value marriage. Marriage for them, it's a big thing. You'd find those people spending a lot of time together. So your values, they help you to find what I normally put as your tribe. You find your tribe, the people that click with you, the people that which I also call destiny partners for your journey. These people they will have to be people that share in your values as well. So when you are being transparent to that group of people, the one thing that you're going to get from them it's not judgment. You're going to get sympathy, people that are going to be sympathetic with you, people that are going to be very truthful with you and tell you that, okay, I've went through this problem, or I know someone that went through this problem. This is how they overcame it. You see? So these are very important values, and these, once again, these are things that they've helped me in my business, in my relationships. They help me to even create more relationships. Every new client that I meet, I test them on these values. Every person that I meet, I test them on my values. How are they? How honest are they? How aware are they of themselves? And what does all of this mean to them? Are they transparent? Are they truthful? So all of these things, I use them in everyday life. I use them in my family, my kids. I teach them these things. My partner will tell you about this. I'm very big on values that build us as a people. So that is the transparency. The next one is trustworthiness. 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 In other words, be dependable. Be a person of your word. Let your word stay with people. What you say when you are not with people, may your word be with the people. So be present with your word even when you are absent from people. What does that mean? It means that whatever that you say you will do, do it. Whatever that you say you will do, do it. Be trustworthy, be trusted. People must not doubt you. Whenever people want to give you, maybe let's say in the workplace, they want to give you a responsibility that has got the potential of giving you a promotion. If you don't know, again, be honest that I don't know how to do this. By you just being honest, saying I don't know how to do this, a person that wants to promote you, they can even say, okay, if you don't know how to do this, go to so and so will teach you how to do it, and then you do it because they've seen a potential in you. But then be a person of your word. It's very, very important. Be trusted. So be a person that even when you are not among a group of people, when someone asks about you, people must be able to say exactly the person that you are, right? That's how you become trustworthy. People that you live with, they must just know that you are a person that they can trust, because you are not a cheat, you are not a liar, you are not dishonest, you are always transparent. Then you are trusted. So be a person of your word. Let your word, everything that comes out of your mouth about you or about anything, let it represent you. Let people know you by what you do, but also by what you say, what you promise. Keep everything that you promise. Every commitment that you make, keep to it. In South Africa there is a very it's a pandemic when it comes to parenting, especially with couples that the father and the mother, they've separated. It's a pandemic. People they promise that I will pay maintenance. I will buy this for my child. I will buy, and when you do not keep to those promises, you're damaging the life of the child. Number one. Number two, your former partner, even though they wanted to respect you, they are not going to respect you because you've become not trustworthy. The truth is not in you. Once again, when you cannot do what you're supposed to do, you become honest and say, listen, I am not able to do this. I'm not able to send this money. I'm not able to come and see the child. Be honest, be transparent. Give the reasons why you cannot do that, even though they don't believe that this is the reason. But if when you know that I'm truthful with what I'm saying, you give it to them, because you know that the minute you get the chance to do it, you will do it. Always deliver on what you have promised. Be trustworthy. be a person of your word. Your resolution, it depends on all of that. It depends on all of that. You are not going to achieve it if you are freestyling and you just wishing that I wish I can be this, I wish I can achieve this, if you're not putting the work on yourself. So it's very important that have this set of values and live by them day by day. You're not gonna implement them all of a sudden and then you win. You're gonna have to be a person that do this habitually. I'm gonna speak about that, how you get to that point. Now the next one is intentionality. Intentionality. Being intentional with everything is the win. You cannot win if you are not intentional about winning. You cannot conquer if you are not intentional about conquering. So being intentional means whether there are circumstances that want you to compromise because of what you want, you are not going to give in to stuff that wants to give you a shortcut to achieving it, right? So be a person that is very intentional, that is driven. It means that you need to be a person that wants what it is that you have set for yourself to achieve. You need to want it to the extent that you will do everything that harms no one, that harms no one, to achieve what you do, what you want. So being intentional, it's very, 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 very important. Very, very important. Someone may say, I'm intentional about making R1 million in the next year. That's very good. And you can. Trust me, you can make R1 million in the next year, but you will need to place that on a set of values, and you'll come up with ways. If it means that you sell something and you make 200 rand a day, then you can just look at how many days do you need to sell that to make R1 million in 365 days. You can't do that, but you need to be intentional. You need to so even in that, in your spending, you need to know that if you want to make R1 million and you make, let's say, 20,000 rand in a week or a day or whatever amount of money that you make, you will need to be intentional with regards to spending. You are not going to spend on things just because you want to spend, because your intention is to make R1 million. You will spend on things that you really, really, really need. There will be things that you are not going to give yourself because your intention is to make R1 million at the end of the year. You will only do that though if you become very intentional about your resolution. The next one is being routine based. Now again, someone may say, yeah, but that's a habit. For me, again, it's a value. The pictures that I create and the clients that I keep, they are as a result of me routinely doing this thing that people then, I've got people that just love the kind of pictures that I create. I am not the best photographer for everyone, but I'm the best photographer to those that love my work. And I was very intentional with that I want to create a certain type of pictures that when I get hired to do photography, either for an event or for a product, or whatever, there is just a set of pictures that I want to produce, and they must look a particular way. And for me to get to that, I had to master it through routine. So routine is very important. Routine actually is very essential for mastery. Routine is very essential for learning. So even these values that I'm talking about, in order for you to master them, you will have to routinely, or even your own values. I mean, you can develop your own values, but the one value that maybe you can take out of what I'm talking about, take routine as a value and routinely place yourself around those values that you've created for yourself and see what it will do, because whatever that you routinely do, you master. Whatever that you routinely do, you master. I have a video that I recorded. It's in my videos, or you can just click here there is a link that leads you to a video where I speak about procrastination bowing down to routine. It's very, very important for you to be a person of routine. Routine is very important for you to master whatever it is that you want to master. Very, very important. One of my favorite martial artists, the greatest to ever do it, Bruce Lee, he puts it this way: I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Now, that speaks to routine. You see, Bruce Lee here puts it very plain that if you are going to master one thing, you need to do it many times. You need to do it repeatedly. That's what routine means. And routine for me becomes a value in that when I come up with something that I want to do and I want to master, then I need to have it in me, and I need to believe in the fact that routine is essential for mastery. Therefore, I adopt it to be my value, a value that I live by. So routine, it's not just boring, as people, like some people that say, yeah, but routine is boring. Look, people that are into dance, they call it a routine when they do exactly the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. They say let's do that routine. It's a routine because when it's time for them to perform that particular dance, they've got no time to rehearse it. So the performance itself, or the routine itself, or the dance itself, they do it on autopilot. They just know that I do it 3 times, 4 times, and then I turn, and then 5 times or 6 times or 8 times or whatever, and then I do a flip. You know, they master that only because they have created a routine of it. That is why when you see them perform, they're in unison. You've seen during Olympics or even Soccer World Cup, when especially the opening, you'll see some amazing formation. It's just people that are around there. They'll be forming different kinds of shapes. They don't just go to the stadium for that day and say, oh yeah, let's do this. No, it's properly rehearsed. It's been routinely rehearsed. That's what routine then does. It brings perfection, it brings mastery. The last one, which is according to me, it is a glue to all of these that I've just discussed. It is consistency. 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 It's very easy for people to speak of consistency because it's a beautiful word, and when you say consistency, you become a person that knows stuff. But consistency is a very powerful thing. When you are consistent at doing something, again, it's almost similar to routine. But now, in this regard, I speak of consistency in all of the values that I've just mentioned, or any other value that you can develop for yourself. You will need to be consistent in those things, or in those values, or in ensuring that you keep those values. You do the stuff that you're supposed to do in using those values. So your resolution, it sits on values, but within these values, you will need to be a person of consistency. The stuff that you will achieve, you'll achieve the stuff that you are only consistent in. Once again, if you go to the other flip side, the stuff that you consistently fail in is because you are consistently doing stuff that is leading you to fail. So consistency, again, it's something that is inherent, just like routine. We are people of routine. Whether we believe in it or we don't believe in it, we are people of routine. The stuff that we've mastered because of routine, and we've been consistent in those things. So I hope that this help you as you move forward to achieve whatever resolution it is that you have made. Just remember, this resolution is for you, and when you have achieved this resolution, it's going to make you feel better. You'll be proud of yourself. You'll be happy that you did, and this will fuel you to even do more. It means that if you have achieved this, then it doesn't matter what it is that you want to achieve next time. If it's based on values and principles, trust me, you can use the same values and you come up with another resolution and you do exactly that, and you will win. I wish you all the best in all your endeavors and in everything that you do. And I pray that whatsoever that your hand finds to do, it prospers, and that whatever goal that you have in mind, that you get prepared enough so that you can achieve it. Because at the end of the day, each one of us, we want to achieve. We want to be celebrated. We want to be respected. And we are not going to be respected or celebrated if we do not have values that hold us up. And with that said, allow me to say, you have got this.